Alright, welcome back to another Kuma Style review. My name's TJ Duckett, and today we have Bandai, their Tamashii line, their Super Robot Chogokin, Weisritter, from the Super Robot Wars video games and animes. So first we're going to go ahead and take a look at the box, since this part is called Out of the Box. On the front here, it's a bit different than their normal Tamashii line packaging. Instead of just the big open area on one side of the other, it actually has a big picture of the bot itself, as well as some, just outer effects and things like that, and a little bit of clearance on the side here so that you can see through the box, but it's minimal. It has the name here down at the bottom, and I really do like the box art. Nice sky colored, gradient faded background. Alright, on the top, we have what looks like a little bit more of an embossed style artwork. Alright, you have the logo there, as well as his name. Alright, taking a look at the bottom. Similar, but this one's colored. Okay, on this side, it's actually treated like the bottom of a lot of boxes, just with packing information, all that good stuff. This one, full-length picture of the robot. And on the back, we have some pictures of him with some of his accessories, showing off his sword, his assault rifle, his wrist blasters as well. Yeah, his wing pack even too. We have a picture of him holding his rifle, as well as Al Tyson, which will be my next review. Another cool character from the Super Robot Wars series. So alright, let's start taking a look at the figure itself. Alright, and taking a look at Weisritter himself, the thing you'll notice off the bat is a very, very unique design to him. The aesthetics in the Super Robot Wars series are really cool. They're like Gundams with a lot of flair to them. Each character has a ton of character, and character has a ton of character, but it's true. They are very, very individual in their designs, their moldings, etc., etc. And these Super Robot Chogokin toys stay very, very, very extremely accurate to them. So taking a look at them, first zoom in here so you can get a look at his head sculpt there. Alright, as you can see there, he does have a bit of a helmet there with the face visor on the front and whatnot. So we'll turn his head up some, and we'll actually turn it to the side so that you can see that he does have eyes underneath it as well. Okay. Oops. Alright. So there's that. I really love the side crest on his head there. His shoulder pads are actually adjustable here. All three parts, actually. So you can move these all. And if you'd like to, I prefer them out, because especially when he has the wing pack on, that we'll take a look at in a bit, it just looks a lot more complete. But okay, taking a look at him up to down here. Very anime, but very, very detailed at the same time. Just overall creative and great character design. Now taking a look at him from other angles here. Alright. Even though he's got the broad shoulders with the pads and things like that, he's still got a really sleek waist there. Okay. Other side. And here we go. Now, taking a look at the posability of this figure, his head is on a ball joint. Unfortunately, the back of his helmet does stoop down a little bit farther, so he can't look up quite as much as I'd like him to, but he can definitely look up and down, side to side. Yeah. And the crest on his head are removable, so if that happens, don't worry about it. It literally just pegs right back in. Okay? Alright. Shoulders definitely on ball joints there. We just went over the adjustable shoulder pads. Alright. Definitely has bicep swivel. Okay. Single jointed elbows. but a good amount of range, and a little bit of play in the pieces that connect his forearm to his arms. I guess technically they're wrists, but they're like wristbands, as well as the wrists themselves, or the hands being on ball joints too. So full amount of articulation there. Okay, now his waist. Great articulation in the waist. He definitely has waist swivel here, but the waist is actually double jointed. It's on a ball joint originally, so it has wiggle room there. But underneath here, there's another back and forth pivot, so he also has ab crunch. So this is the first time I've seen a toy with a double jointed waist quite like that. And once again, I'm pegging in this crest piece. Can be a little bit troublesome, but it's still cool. Alright, so getting this waist back down there. Alright, the skirts on all sides do move to give them a greater range of motion. See there? Okay. Thighs, really strong ball jointed thighs. Great thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Okay. And looking at the feet, feet are definitely on ball joints, as well as some really stable. You see the heels are actually separated, very true to the cartoon. I mean, it's like these characters were just made to be made into awesome action figures. Like, it's crazy. And that just goes to show how well of a job that Bandai Tamashii does with their likenesses when it comes to these Super Robot lines. Both Super Robot Chogokin and So Love Chogokin. Alright, so that's a look at the figure himself. Let's take a look at his accessories. Alright, and taking a look at his accessories here. The first one I'm actually going to start off with is his wing pack. He wears it the majority of the time in the anime, and especially in the video games. But here it is. Alright, taking a look at it from all sides, okay? This is actually the top with the fin there. And it has a clip here that just clips into a spot in his back. Okay, I'll show you the spot in his back. There's that. You can see the blade and hole right there, but just clips in. Okay. One thing I would recommend doing is adjusting his head to the spot you want it in before you clip this wing pack in, because once you do, it gets kind of hard to move it around with those big crests on his ears. But speaking of the crest, it comes with 2 replacement pieces, just in case something happens to those. They are flexible, but they're still thinner plastic and stuff like that, so they're nice to have included. Same white color, same detailing, everything. So, very cool on that. Alright, the usual variety of hands here. We've got a pair of open ones. Okay. 2 gun handle hands, and I'll show you how those work when we go over the gun itself, as well as 2 fists to hold the saber that he comes with. Alright. Okay, we've went over the hands. Now, there's an optional wrist piece. We'll take a look at that. And these are his forearm blasters. Okay, so what we're going to do is just take his fist off the ball joint there. We'll pop it off onto the ball joint on here. Okay, it goes right in the middle there. It doesn't allow for hand movement or anything like that because of the way that they're in that triangle there. But this forearm piece just plain gets replaced with that one. Alright. And boom. Okay, let's zoom in so you can see how it looks. Alright, and there we go. There's that. Okay. So moving on with the accessories, just to give them some more wrist movement and whatnot, I'm going to take that forearm piece off and pop the normal one back on. Okay, so there's that. Alright. Now we can take a look at some of his other accessories here. Alright, so looking at the wing pack on the back, everything's fully adjustable. So you can take this main fin, put it up, and both of these wing pieces, they're adjustable up and down as well as in and out. So it's really cool the amount of range that they get. And see what I'm saying when I say the shoulder pads flared out a bit, gives him way more of a complete look. Man. It's just one of those molds that I drew over, not gonna lie. So, what's a wing pack if you can't fly? That's where this piece comes in, alright? This is an optional piece. It pegs under him into his butt area. Let me see if I can actually zoom this in and get some room, get some light, enough for you guys to see it. Split his legs out some there. Alright, see how this indents right here? There's an upwards piece on here that slides right into it. So we're just going to slide that right in. Okay, and I don't know if you heard that, but it just clips into place. Alright, from there, we'll zoom out here. Since it's my favoritist, I'm using a Tamashii Act 5 stage. Okay. And then just slides on like so. Okay. Alright, so we've got him flying now, but I want him to hold his rifle. As you can see, this is a very big rifle. And if you want, he also comes with a variable sword. So I can show that off real quick. Get that pegged on there. And see, there that thing goes, flopping off again. And it's a lot harder to get back on with the flight stand or the wing pack on, just because you don't have the room to take his hand back. But there we go. Okay. So you can see how he looks with sword in hand. There we go. Actually put it at a bit of an angle there so you can see better, but yeah. I mean, overall cool stuff. Now, I feel like I'm rushing to show off this gun, but I'm doing it because it's awesome, not because there's a lack of time or anything like that. Alright, so here's the gun. He comes with a hand that has, or two hands, so you have the option of which one to hold it with. They come with the finger out, okay? So you can see that. See that there? The way this pegs in, alright? On the gun here, this is the handle, and this is where the finger's going to go through. So I'm going to take it, and it's kind of hard to do here on camera, but I'll manage. Now that I've done this a couple of times, and boom. See how that goes on? Alright. Now, we can zoom out. And the hands actually has an angle, as you can see there, at an angle. So that when you do slide it on, oops, get that skirt back down. Or just pop it out, you know, whatever. Jeez, it's just hard to see while pegging the gun in on camera, but I'll make it work. Alright, peg that back on. And it's meant to go kind of underside, like so. Alright. Or, you could give them an open hand. Alright. Peg that on. I just cannot win with that. With that guy. I cannot. Throw that out. Angle that up. This is actually the first time I've attempted this pose, so bear with me here, guys. And there's that. I'll actually bring it up to an above angle. You guys can see it a bit better. Yeah, there's that. I actually put it down some. But yeah, see what I mean? Definitely cool stuff there. And just because it likes to take me off, I'm gonna try. And it's not a solid peg. The peg on these crests is actually like a T shape. So that's why it's so hard for me to peg back in. And there, I actually felt it going well. I think I got it. But, alright. There he is with the gun in place. So, just to give him the more of a cool pose look, make sure his wings are spread out there. Angle him a bit more. Bring one of these legs up. Sides are very tight, so bear with me while I do it slowly. Okay. Pull his foot down. And yeah, there we go. I mean, honestly, this thing is just fun as all get out to pose. And notice he didn't come off his Tamashii stand or anything like that. He is just freaking awesome. Let me actually zoom in some a bit so you guys can see what's going on here. And tell me that's not cool, so I'll get out. Seriously. So there are the accessories. Alright, final thoughts on this thing. If you can't tell, I'm pretty damn enamored with it. It is a very photogenic, very aesthetically pleasing robot. It was actually a Quinn Jester that on TFW that said it was one of his top 5 favorite robot designs of all time. And I having it in hand here, I can definitely see why. This thing is just one of those designs that makes for such a great toy, makes for such an awesome shelf piece. And while I'm at it, let me go ahead and get him measured, just so I don't leave that out, because I do like to have measurements and whatnot. He is actually, alright, I'm doing the tip of his helmet to the toe. He's about 6 inches on the dot from there. Obviously about an inch and a half higher with wingspan and stuff like that. But yeah, at an awesome size that's in scale with almost every Bandai Tamashii robot that you'll buy, as well as just a great aesthetic, awesome accessories, and just a fun, posable, solid figure. Because even fiddling around there, one thing if you guys didn't notice, it didn't do was fall off of the Tamashii stand or anything like that. It's made to pose, it's made to look awesome, this is a damn good toy. Obviously it's one that I'd recommend, but it's more of a preference thing too, because it's not the traditional straight up Transformer style. It's more of a Japanese mechabot. That's exactly what it is, but that's what I'm into, even more so than Transformers aesthetics and things like that. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this review of Bandai Tamashii's Super Robot Chogokin Weisritter. This is TJ Duckett once again, signing out. See you guys next review.